Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 5 of my Clockwork Empires Alpha 44 playthrough. Now, we've jumped considerably ahead in time. If you look at the top bar here, you can see we're actually on day 21, where I went back and checked. The previous video ended at day 10. So, for those keeping track, at this point in the game, it's been approximately 6 hours or so since the game elapsed, given about maybe 15 minutes to half hour per recorded episode, and there's stuff between that I didn't record, and there's a considerable chunk of time before I started recording this one. So you can see the colony is significantly better developed. For one, I have built most of my new buildings in a ring around the stockpile and the farm plots in the middle, and then I plugged in most of the gaps, so you can see here with these wooden palisades, or the gabions. Because it's a little bit more secure now, I've switched over to a higher risk crop. So as you can see, instead of growing corn here on the left field, I've switched over to sugarcane plant. It requires the same amount of labor, it has a much higher yield, but it has a very slow growth rate, which makes it very vulnerable to destruction sometime during its growth cycle. But now that it's better protected from beetles and things, it's more secure, so I'm more comfortable building it there, or growing it there. I do have another plot out here growing corn. It took a while, but I finally established the stone mine here. So now I've got plenty of stone. This second mine under construction is actually a sand mine. This location is sand, oddly enough. And I am considering building a third mine out here for the malachite, although for now I'm just digging up the exposed nodes out of the ground so I can build copper, which will be useful in a lot of other things. Now there was, see this one here? If I build a mine here, it will produce hematite. If I build a mine here, it'll produce malachite. If I build a mine shaft in between the two of them, I think their overlapping areas will actually create a mine that produces both of those ores, which would be cool because I can definitely use both of them. But that's something I can consider later. Now I did have a labor shortage. Oh, I've got an unassigned laborer. You can go here. I still have a labor shortage. I'm very short on overseers. In fact, I've had to unassign some workshops and assign their laborers to other things just so I can get them done. Oh, I've got a new overseer. Good. Case in point, this is the ceramics workshop. Although I'd like to have more bricks, there's actually no overseer assigned here. Same goes for the textile workshop. Because I really need them to be doing other things. On a demand basis, when I need textiles or cloth, bolts of cloth and bricks, I will temporarily assign an overseer there, but only as long as they produce exactly the amount I need, and then I shift them off. If I had more overseers, I wouldn't have to do that. Again, it's because of the massacre of day 4, which I'm still recovering from, although the colony's pretty stable now. I mean, I was able to set up the metalworks here, which has finally produced some weapons. This pistol and actually this rifle I got off a bandit we killed. So most of my soldiers now have weapons, which makes defending the colony much easier. Now my current policy toward the fish people is one of hostility. Apparently it's not. Policy of friendship, which upsets Zora Golden Crimble because she wants that policy to be hostility. I am going to change the policy to hostility since that's what I thought it was. I've built a chapel here. You might remember I was getting regular messages from the colonists that they wanted a chapel, and I kept on saying, yeah, sure, I'll build one. And that popped up several times. I believe once a day, until you either say, no, I'm never going to build a chapel, or you promise, I will build the chapel tomorrow. I didn't have the stone, right, until I finished building the stone quarry here. So what eventually happened, and unfortunately I didn't get it on video, was that the colonists formed a cult because they weren't their spiritual needs were not being tended to, so they turned elsewhere. Now I have built a chapel. Unfortunately, or well, not unfortunately, since it was deliberate, the overseer I've assigned here is Lenora Rutabaga. Now I assigned her there because she is spiritually inclined. And here we go. Now, unfortunately, she was an insane cultist. Like her insanity meter was off the top here. You can see an old memory of her having maddening visions, and she had a couple of dreams of lights in the forest. She was completely mad. However, being that I've constructed a chapel, which gave her a chance to pray and meditate, that helped reduce her madness, and now the chapel is back to normal. So while she was an insane cultist, the chapel was actually named oh my goodness, I don't remember basically, so the chapel is currently named the Church of Divine Mechanics, right? And every workshop actually has a name. Normally something pretty generic, like okay, I can't find another building. Every building gets a name that describes its function, and if the overseer who administrates that building goes insane, it changes to reflect their damaged mental state. And what's going on down here? So if you have a crazy cultist in charge of your building, what is going on? Is that human flesh they're carrying? What? It's just a convoy of hostile fishmen carrying armloads of human flesh. And I'm seeing a lot of death. Okay, our run of bad luck may not yet be over. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of... Did my entire military squad? Yup. Okay, I'm gonna pause the game here. Sissel Crimblehewer? You're now the NCO. Let's assign some guys here. Oh my goodness, what's going on? Fortunately, I have plenty of pistols for everyone. Wow, that was brutal. I stopped paying attention for half a minute, and my entire militia got wiped out. Okay, oh, I'm also having starvation problems. Sadie Brazen Thump, Uriah Bildad. There are beetles eating the crops, probably because of all the dead bodies here. Oh, what's going on here? Zorgol and Crimble is leading a protest. I made peace with some bandits earlier because they were attacking in numbers far greater than I had soldiers. Now Zora Golden Crimble is upset. I'm busy. I am going to just ignore their protests. Oh, here we have a script error. So, okay, take this opportunity to remind everyone this game is in alpha, still in active development. The script error represents something not working quite right. Often, you can just work around the script errors by closing the notification window here. Now, the game might continue, largely unaffected, or something might break. So hopefully it won't permanently affect the game going forward. Oh my goodness. Well, I've got a bunch of corpses and a bunch of beetles. First off, I am... we can solve both those problems. I'm going to butcher the fish people for their meat. And I've got blood everywhere. So having blood in the crops especially makes the evil cult plants grow. Which would be very bad because not only do they promote madness, they also displace regular edible crops. And because we're going to be facing another starvation crisis, I really need to clear off the blood. Yep, and there are beetles out here. These crops are spoiling. Okay. Ooh, it's a rifle. Oh wait, no. What are you doing, Livuetta Fryup? I guess she decided to dump the corpse rather than bury it. I should probably take the opportunity to expand the graveyard, actually. After the autosave completes. Alright, so let's look at the situation of the colony. I thought we were secure. But my full military squad was wiped out by a wave of fish people. Good news, the fish people were carrying meat in their arms wherever it is they were going. So the colony is going to have no shortage of meat. Unfortunately, they all seem to be carrying human flesh, and colonists are also quite reluctant to eat Fishman's steak. So, I mean, if it gets hungry enough, people will eat Fishman steak, and then if they get very hungry, they'll eat human flesh. Both of which have damaging effects on a colonist's sanity. But it's either that or death, right? So, actually, I don't know where all the bodies are. I'm just going to say any fish people in the boundaries of the colony get chopped up into fish sticks. Of course, there are beetles. What is this? Oh, long pork. Spoiled crops. Fortunately, the sugar plantation, I'm going to skip calling in a favor for now. Fortunately, the sugar plantation was only at a very early stage of development, so I'm actually not losing too much time by just replanting it again. Yeah, well, oh, that was brutal. Looks like we're okay now. Let's see, the kitchen staff is... So the kitchen crew is still active. I didn't have anyone assigned to textiles. The carpentry has kept its overseer. Our vicar is still here. 3 immigrants. Yes, I will take you. The metalworks crew is still intact. I actually built the chemist, but I hadn't assigned anyone here. Now I've newly reassigned the barracks, and I didn't have anyone assigned to ceramics. Okay, so I didn't lose any vital overseers. Yeah, so that's where the colony stands now. Let's see if... Oh yes, our friend Jarosław Przenkowski is still alive. Actually, where is he? Oh, he's still farming. Faithfully farming as usual. He's seen a lot of death. All his memories are of seeing corpses. And surprisingly, he's not insane. I still want to make him our colony's lead scientist. But to make a scientist, I have to build a laboratory. A laboratory is an office here. I can't build a laboratory until I have a bit more brick. That's just to build the structure, though. And all of the modules in the laboratory are actually, they require glass and copper. So I don't have any copper. And I won't have any glass until I finish the mine here that produces sand, which I can then fire into glass at the ceramics workshop. So making him our scientist is going to have to wait. I do... Let's see, is anyone not doing anything? Oswald Ty is farmer. So I don't have a spare overseer to assign to the ceramics workshop to make bricks, but I do need those bricks to make a number of things. I'm actually out of bricks. So at this point, either I unassign someone from the work crew menu, although I kind of need them all doing what they're doing now, or I wait. I wait for a new overseer to arrive, or I wait to accumulate a bit more favor here, and then I ask for a temporary overseer, and then I can maybe get the brick production going. As I was saying, I think I'll expand the graveyard a little bit. It's actually a second graveyard, I mean. There we go. Let's make this look nice. So that minor setback aside, I think the colony is still okay. Everyone is mostly still alive. The mine, okay, the mine's complete. Although again, I don't really have anyone to work in there. But I've got most of the infrastructure down, and just having an empty building doesn't hurt. Like there's no maintenance on them, right? So you can just let them sit empty for as long as you need. But as it stands, I think as soon as we get some more workers, we'll be fine. I'll be able to mine up some sand here with those additional overseers, hypothetical future overseers. I'll be able to make bricks and sand at the ceramics workshop here, and possibly also build another mine here. And with the copper and the glass that those two mines will produce, we'll be able to build a naturalist office and a laboratory. And then I'll have someone who's able to research and dissect Fishman corpses and maybe go crazy in the process. So it's been a bit of a bumpy ride, but I think we've weathered the storm here. This colony's doing okay. Just never mind all the bloodstains and corpses. So, I think we'll leave the colony here. Just a quick look in at how the colony's doing. I'll probably be continuing this series for at least one more episode. I really want to build that laboratory, and that will show everyone maybe the highest tier of buildings. So, I hope this has been an entertaining look at Clockwork Empires. My name is Alfred. Clockwork Empires is being developed by Gaslamp Games. It's in early access. It's an alpha, so it's not done. And as we can see, there are bugs and things not finished and features not yet implemented. I think it's in pretty good shape though so far. Well, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next episode.